Hello and welcome to another edition of Sit and Chat with Alicia and Pat. I'm your host, Alicia Wilkerson. Thank you for tuning in. My co-host and partner, Mother Patricia Payne, was unable to be here today for this taping. However, Mother Payne, we know that you will be watching and we look forward to you being with us on our next taping. Today's guest, I am so very excited to have with us today owner, businesswoman, publisher, Christian author, Darliss Crutchfield, Batchelor. Darliss, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's so good to see you. Darliss is going to tell you a little bit about herself, and she's actually got a book out. She's had it out for a while now, and her book is entitled Secrets. It's so good when we have our own sisters doing so well. And Darliss, I was so excited about this interview because, I mean, she's such a beautiful person inside and out. And I just want to give a little bit of history. I actually met Darliss through her husband, Gregory, who is, to this day, one of my best BFFs or boyfriends from high school and junior high. I've known Darliss for many, many years, and I had the opportunity of meeting her when she and Greg got married, and she is just such a wonderful woman. And I'm just so overwhelmed and happy to have her here. So enough of my talk. We're going to talk to Darliss. So how are you doing today, ma'am?
I am very good.
Looking
Very
good.
Thank
Looking
you.
Good.
Thank
Always
you.
good to see you. I don't get to see you that often. I know you've been pretty busy.
Yes.
But before we get into that, I would like you, Darliss, to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your background, and a few things.
Well, I'm originally from Flint, Michigan. Was born and raised there until I met my husband in 1985. In 1982 we met. And we got married in 1985, and that's when I moved to this area. I've been here for 29 years. So actually, I've been here longer than I lived in Flint.
Yes, yes.
At this point, I have a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science from Wayne State University. I am a mother of one, grandmother of one, and I am so very proud of both of them as well.
Yes.
I began writing, I don't know, I guess it's been since maybe 2000. And I quit my job as a computer programmer analyst to be at home with my son, and I thought I would just be at home and taking care of him and
Yes.
doing those kind of things, but you know, sometimes God has another plan.
This is true.
And so I ended up substitute teaching for a while, but while I was doing that, God called me to write.
Yes.
And so that's how I began my writing journey at that time.
I was curious about that because I know that you do have your bachelor's in computer science, and I said, well, now, that's a pretty big change, a switch over from going from computer science to writing. And I wondered what caused you to do that. Do you think, Darliss, because you took the time off to be with your son at home, do you think maybe that's when you really had the revelation, I don't really just want to be in just computers. I want to do more with my life?
Well, the interesting thing is I've always been a really avid reader.
Yes.
And I've heard it said that readers are typically writers.
True.
My grandmother was a Christian playwright. She
Is
wrote,
that right?
yes, she was a Christian playwright. And a lot of her sisters, they did writing. They
Yes.
wrote.
Mm-hmm.
But one night I started having this dream. And I had this dream for a few nights.
Okay, each night in a row, or
3 nights in a row, I had this dream,
Mhm.
and I thought, what am I supposed to do with that? You know, I didn't understand what that was about.
Yes.
And so I began to write it down,
Mhm.
and that's a book I haven't written.
Okay.
However, Greg and I were on a cruise, and we were I was laying on the beach, he was in the water.
Yes.
And I asked God, this was after I quit my job, I said, what am I supposed to do now?
Yes.
And this book, Secrets, just kind of came to me all at once.
It just hit you.
It just hit me.
Wow.
It just hit me. I really hadn't had any idea until that moment that I should be writing.
Really?
Really.
So it seems to me, Darliss, like God just put this upon you.
Yeah.
You weren't even looking for it.
No.
You weren't even expecting it. You're laid out, enjoying the cruise, having a great time, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Right. That's exactly how it happened.
And what did Greg say? I'm curious to know what my buddy said, because, or did you share anything with him at first about it?
I'm sure I did. I'm sure I did. I know now I bounce ideas off of him, but I remember when when he finally did realize that, this was something I was going to do.
Yes.
He said, well, look, now, I'm not a reader, and I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this industry, but I do know that you're going to need some money.
No, without a doubt. Okay. Well, that's okay.
He said, and I can help you with
Oh,
that.
well, hey, now who can you argue with that? Women, that's what it's all about. That's wonderful to know you've got your husband supporting you.
Absolutely.
And he's honest. I don't read, I don't write, but baby, I've got the money. You're going to, hey, what a blessing.
What a blessing.
Thank you. That's truly a blessing.
It is.
I know you was happy to hear that too.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
Okay. So once you came back from the cruise, did you just start writing this book, or what? How did it come to you? I mean, because it came to you on the cruise, but what did you do once you got back?
I sat down in front of a blank screen, and I just began to write what I knew, based on what had come to me.
Yes.
And over time, I would get more and more insight.
Yes.
And then there were things that happened that I didn't expect in the book. And, so that's just how it happened over 10 years now. I didn't write every day.
Okay.
Like I'm supposed to.
They say that's what you're supposed to do, but you don't always have a chance to do that.
Right, right. And so over probably about 10 years,
Yes.
I wrote the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the book we're talking about, and we did mention the title, but I want to hold it up. This is my copy of Secrets, and it's by, of course, Darliss Batchelor. Excellent, excellent book. Oh, I was just taking these characters, very interesting, and it is a Christian novel, but there's some twists and turns and things that you're just not going to expect to see. Now, the book is available on Amazon.com. It's also available on BarnesandNoble.com.
Correct.
It is an excellent book. I highly recommend it. I, like you, Darliss, actually, I started writing a little younger than you. I was actually 9 years old when I wrote my first story. Writing has always come natural to me. It's a gift from God.
Yes.
I can truly say it's a gift. And I know what you mean about that labor of love. You start working on something, and over time, it develops.
Right.
It develops. So for you to take this on, I'm sure, I mean, that's just such a change from computer science.
It is.
Such a switch.
But you know what? They're both creative.
Yes.
As a computer scientist, I had to figure out how to solve issues.
Yes.
How to create, resolutions for
Yes.
problems in the workplace.
Sure. Okay.
And then I had to create the programs to make that happen.
Yes.
So they're both creative, just in a little different way.
Okay. But you seem so comfortable with this. You
I
seem
am.
so comfortable. Tell us a little bit about some of your characters, because, like I say, I've read the book and it's excellent. But just give the viewers, our viewers, just a little taste, because I'm telling you, this is a book worth buying. I cannot plug it enough. It's an excellent, excellent book. And also, so you know, it's not full of cursing and offensive, abusive language.
No.
Nothing. It's nothing like that at all. So tell us a little bit about it, Darliss.
Well, one of the characters that I really like is a lady named Cassandra. And Cassandra, on first glance, is a troublemaker.
True.
She's a little bit of a vixen. She's got a little bit of that, I don't know how you would describe it, but she just got a little bit of that.
She's got an air about her. She's confident,
Yes.
but yet she's kind of seductive,
Yes.
and she's a few people
Right.
wrapped into one.
She
There's no
is.
doubt about that.
She is.
She's got her own way, I can tell. She's got her own way of thinking.
And she's a woman who's used to getting what she wants. And what she wants is to sit in the big chair in the pulpit at Believers Church.
Okay.
So what Cassandra wants, Cassandra figures out a way to get. Another character is Mother Eileen Thomas.
Mother Thomas. Now, you know what's really funny that was coincidental about Mother Eileen Thomas? My boss, Judge Cynthia Thomas Walker, her mother's name is Eileen
Oh, really?
Thomas, and it's spelled the same way.
Oh.
And Mother Thomas was very interesting. I found her to be quite interesting. She's got a few things going on, I thought.
Oh, yeah, she does. She does. But she's another person who has an idea about how things are supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not that way, then it's going to get that way real quick, or somebody's going to answer to Mother Thomas.
Yes.
Now, she has her own secret,
Yes.
and it drives her to do some things that, you know, maybe she wouldn't ordinarily do.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Mother Thomas.
I like Mother Thomas. Once I found out what her secret was, it helped me to better understand her, because truthfully at first, Darliss, I thought Mother Thomas was a troublemaker. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of like, oh boy, she's one of these holier than thou. It has to be my way. But after, and we're not going to tell you, you have to buy the book to find out what her secret is.
That's right.
After I found out what was driving her, I could somewhat understand. And I could understand it more so, why she was the way that she was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have Pastor Mitch and Sister Marcia.
Yes.
Now, Sister Marcia she's a really, really sweet woman. She's a sweet person. She's not one of those that's really quick to go off the handle
True.
and fly off the handle. However, she can be pushed.
And I liked her. I liked her a lot. I did. She can be. And you'll discover that in the book. She can be.
Right,
pushed.
right.
She has her limits.
She does.
She'll take, one thing I did notice, Darliss, was she took more than I think the average woman would have taken.
Right.
But then there came the point where she just had to put her foot down
That
about
was
some
it.
things.
That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And her husband, you know, he loves the church.
Yes.
He loves that church. And, you know, he loves the fact that, you know, he came into a situation that was not quite the way he would have liked it to be. And he was just pouring his heart into trying to make sure everything was okay.
Yes.
And then, you know, there comes an issue.
It comes, and it's an issue. Trust me. And Darliss is putting it mildly. Believe me, there is an issue.
Yeah, there is.
There is. Now with him, in a way, I felt he was somewhat naive. But I think it was because of his love of the church.
Yes.
There were things, Darliss, that Pastor Mitch did not want to believe would go on. No, to me, he was the kind of man, well, he gives everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
That was my impression of him.
Right, right. And because, you know, his experience before, you know, and this is just me because I know the backstory.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
But he, you know, his experience before just taught him to think that Christian people were really Christian people. You know, that there was not going to be these issues and problems, and he just didn't think that, you know, well, they wouldn't do that.
Of course. But he found out differently. That's another secret. That's another secret.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
The twist that you've put on these characters, I think is amazing. And I truly believe, Darliss, that everyone, when they read your book, they will be able to identify with some of these characters, or if they can't identify with them personally, they know someone, when they read this, oh, this is Mother so-and-so, or this is Tom, or this is Dick, you know. You really put it in such a way, you made them complex characters, but they're simple enough to understand.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so.
I felt they were.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so. Some people have shared different insight with me from the book, and I thought, you know what? You're right. You know, I was just writing.
Sure.
I just wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so, you know, people tell me different things about, you know, how they had different layers and so on and so forth. And,
Yes.
you know, I didn't have any formal training in writing. I've never been to school.
Sure.
And so when people tell me things like that, I'm always amazed, because I'm like, okay, that is obviously something that came from God.
That is a gift, Darliss. It is truly a gift, and I know exactly what you mean. God has blessed you with a gift. He blessed me with that same gift. Not everyone can write, and we understand, and we're not putting anyone down.
Right.
But I never received any formal training as well. Once again, writing has always come easily to me.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious in your book how thought out these people are. You really thought this book out. You really thought it out. And to me, personally, I don't feel you have to receive special training when God has blessed you with a gift.
That's
because
true.
I've read some authors who have made millions of dollars with books, and their book did absolutely nothing for me.
No.
Their books did absolutely nothing. So when God has given you and blessed you with a gift, and you use that gift and it's pleasing in His sight, everything's going to come to you.
Absolutely.
Everything is going to come to you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just amazing, though. Tell us another character.
Elder Eric Howard.
Now, he was special to me. He was kind of special.
Okay.
Yes, he was
Okay.
kind of special.
And Elder Howard is lonely because he's a widower.
Yes.
And he's accustomed to his wife Eunice being around and being available, and she was always the one that kept him held up and
Grounded. Yes.
and supported him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, she passed away, and Elder Howard found himself lonely, and because he had been a member of this believers' church
Yes.
for so long,
Yes.
he felt like he deserved a little bit of a promotion.
Sure. Sure.
And I'm not going to say what he expected, but
You know, you got to get the book to find that out.
but he kind of finds himself in a position where he has some information that can help him get to where he wants to go.
Exactly.
But in doing so, he kind of puts some other people at risk.
Sure.
And really, ultimately, he puts the church at risk.
He does.
Yes.
He does. And you made that very clear, and I really enjoyed the way that all came about.
Mhm.
The way that you brought it in the book, it came about in such a way where it's like, wow, this whole church can actually end up separating. I mean, it can be
Right.
no more.
Right.
It was very close to it.
Correct.
And the way
Correct.
that you did it, it was like, wow. And you couldn't help it. What's going to happen next?
Yeah.
What's going to happen next? Wow. Well, like I said, I know the book it's beautiful. I've truly enjoyed it, and a few of my friends have purchased it as well. I told them after I finished reading, I said, oh my God, I said, you've got to read this book. I said, Darliss has just done such a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And that's a blessing. And what she's also doing, before we get to that, Darliss is also a book publisher.
Yes.
She is the owner of Word in Due Season, LLC,
Mhm.
and I'm very happy to say she is my book publisher and
Yes.
editor for my book that was recently published just a few days ago, or a few weeks ago, African American Music Trivia Book 1. You can purchase it on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, or visit my website, AliciaCWilkerson.com, but more about that later. But Darliss was the ultimate professional. She truly helped me from the very beginning. When I went to her, she said to me, Alicia, whenever you're ready, let me know. And like a true professional, every detail, everything was covered. I've never worked with anyone more professional than Darliss, and she took excellent care of me. And I told her, any books in the future that aren't racy, that I'm publishing or want to have published, I'm definitely going to go to her. You treated me so well, and it was just a wonderful experience for me from A to Z. Now, how did you decide to get into book publishing? We've got a few minutes. I'm just checking my timer here.
Okay.
How just go ahead. How did you, oh yeah, we've got time. We've got to find out.
Well, I knew that there was a time that I felt like God spoke to me about a publishing company. Now, I didn't have a clue how
Yes.
to do it, how to go about it, what to do. I had no idea.
Sure.
And I knew that I wanted to publish myself
Yes.
because I knew that in order for me to really, do what I wanted to do and not have somebody else telling me no, or you
Yes.
need to change this, or
Yes.
you need to do this,
Yes.
I knew that I was going to have to do it on my own.
Yes.
And a good friend of mine
Mm-hmm.
happened to, she's a book publisher as well, and she's written, 17 or 18 books.
Yes.
I've lost count.
Okay.
But she ran a workshop on how to self-publish yourself.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, well, why is she doing this? Because,
Yes.
this is her business.
Yes.
But God said, shut up and go.
There you go. That's right. Because you see how it ended up helping you.
Right.
And it was a blessing that she wanted to share, because some people, Darliss,
It's true.
they find out something. Oh, no, I don't want anybody to know.
Exactly.
Okay.
And to this day, if I have a question, an issue, or concern, I can always call her. She's still open for me.
That's
She's
wonderful.
still available for me.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
she is.
That is wonderful. And see, that's one of our problems. So many times we don't want to see other people do well. We can't be happy, and God blesses us with gifts and talents, knowing how to do certain things, and you can be selfish with it.
Correct.
You can be selfish, and certainly, how do you expect people to know about your gift or your talent if you don't share it?
Right.
And also, I feel that there's enough in this world for all of us.
Everybody.
For everybody.
Right.
And if I'm like you, Darliss, if I can help someone, if there's something I can help, I will help you. That's what I want to do, because I feel that's what God will want me to do, and that's why He's blessed me with whatever little talent I do have. If I can be of help to someone, that's what I want to do.
Yes.
But now let's ask now. Darliss has another book
Yes,
that
I
is
do.
coming out.
Yes, I do.
It's going to be, she's going to tell us a little bit about it. This is just a little sneak peek on it. It's called Hell is a Skyscraper.
That's right.
Now, let me tell you, I love that title. Darliss, that title is fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, you know, I'm curious. I'm thinking, what is this about? Hell is a skyscraper. What? Ooh, spill the beans. I know you can tell us a little bit.
Right.
Please.
Well, Hell is a Skyscraper is the title story for a trio of novelettes that is going to be, this I'm going to release very soon.
Yes.
And it comes from, the title comes from a line that the main character says. Now this is this title story is about a young man who is abused.
Okay.
And he's telling this story as an adult, looking back over his life.
Yes.
And what he says is, he finds out that hell, he thought he was already living in hell.
Yes.
But he says, you know what, there are indescribable depths to the life that he was living.
Wow.
So that's where the line really comes from. The title
Okay.
comes from. Hell is a skyscraper. He said
Okay.
it's a skyscraper. It's not a one-level place.
Yes.
It's deep.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, let me just check my timer. I just want to make sure, because I want to make sure Darliss gets, oh yeah, we've got 4 minutes. That was an interesting title. I thought it was very interesting, and it couldn't help but pique my curiosity. What could this be about?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you, Darliss, when should we expect to see this? When do you think you'll be releasing this?
My date is November 15th.
Okay.
That's my date, November 15th.
Okay, are you planning a book launch or anything of that nature?
I
Have
am
you
planning a
decided?
book launch party. Right now, it's going to be at my home.
Okay.
However, there's someone who's looking into an off-site location for me.
Okay.
So until I find out exactly where it's going to be,
Okay.
it's probably going to be at my, unless it's going to be
Sure,
someplace else.
I
yes.
understand. I
Yes.
understand. Wow, beauty and talent all in
Thank
one.
you.
God is
Thank
so
you.
good, and you know, we're blessed because we're children of the Lord.
Exactly.
And He's blessed us with opportunities that we've seized. We've seized the opportunities.
That's
because
right.
there have been times people have been blessed with talents and gifts, and they don't follow up. They don't
That's
follow
true.
through on them. They don't do anything about them, and they go to waste.
That's true.
But I'm excited about your new book.
Thanks.
I can't wait until it comes out. I was so excited to have you. And I told you early on, Darliss, I said, I'm going to have you on our show.
Yes, you did.
And Mother Payne wanted to be here to meet
Yes.
you. And she'll get a chance to meet you. But it was just truly, truly a blessing for me that you were able to accept. Because I know you've got a speaking engagement coming up on October 24th. Would you like to, or the 25th?
The
is it?
25th,
If you'd like
yes.
to plug that, we've got about 2.5 minutes. If you'd like to plug that, that'll be
Yes,
great.
I meant to bring the direct information, but I'm speaking at a women's conference in Flint, Michigan. It is on October 25th at 11 o'clock a.m. a.m.
Okay.
And if you would like more information, you can check me out on Facebook, and I have a flyer posted there.
Okay, and it'll have the name of the church where it's going to be.
Exactly.
I'm really hoping that I can make it.
I
I'm
do
really going
too.
to try my hardest to make it because I happen to see it on Facebook, and I just love Facebook. Facebook is so wonderful.
It
because
is.
You talk about free advertising and networking.
Correct.
You can do it right there.
Absolutely.
And I'm really going to try to make it. If I'm not able to make it, I would like to at least get a DVD because I would like to hear it. Do you know if they're going to be taping or?
The story, the last thing I heard was no, it's not going to be taped. I'm hoping, I'm going to pray and ask God to change that situation.
Yes, we're going to pray. we're going to stay
yes.
prayerful on that there,
Yes.
because I know it's going to be awesome. And I just know, Darliss, that I know how you have touched my life. And like I said, we go back many, many, many years. And I thank God for Greg, because I would not have met you had I not known him. And I mean,
same here.
Greg and I, we go all the way back to Jefferson Junior High School, right down the
Wow.
street here on Motor. And he's a wonderful man.
Yes, he is.
And I know he is blessed to have you, and you are blessed to have him.
Absolutely.
And it's a blessing, a young woman who's able to be in a position where she doesn't have to worry about working, and she has a strong Christian man who is supporting and has been supportive of her dream. There's nothing more you can ask for.
Really,
That's truly a blessing.
It sure is.
And now you got those the grandbaby, Bentley.
That one, yes.
Yeah, he's enough. And Brandon, your son.
Yes.
But I am so very happy, Darliss, that you were able to come and
Absolutely.
and I'm going to make sure that this gets out, because we need to let people know in our community what we have here in our city and who we have in our city and the gifts and talents that God has blessed so many people with.
Right.
That we've decided to utilize.
Absolutely.
So thank you again for coming, my
Thank you.
sister.
Thank you.
I
I love you, girl.
I love you too. And that does it for us for another edition of Sit and Chat with Alicia and Pat. I'm your host, Alicia Wilkerson. Join us next time as we tape. We should be seen on Mondays on Comcast at 6:30 p.m. and Wednesdays Comcast Channel 10 on Wednesdays, 8:30 p.m. Have a good one. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.